Hi, everybody. I hope all is well. It's me again, and I originally wanted to start off. As you can see, like the location I'm at, maybe you can't tell. It's a little bit different than what I'm usually. I've been looking for some new secret spots, and I'm like, okay, you didn't ask me all that, but also just mentioning it because I got this phone propped up kind of awkwardly, and so I want to apologize ahead of time for a little bit of fidgeting that I might do, but might be as good as it gets, and this thing just needs to come out of me right now. And I originally was going to just piggyback straight off the last video, and then it rained for like 2 days straight, and then it was like really windy, so it was really difficult for me to shoot. And which also gave me some time to reflect, right? And I woke up today, slept really good, feeling pretty good. I've been dreaming a lot lately, and so yeah, I've been inspired to just talk a little bit more about my situation. Anyway, I'm sorry, I keep anywaying because there's people behind me, but and so like I said, it's gonna come out a little awkward. I didn't really practice this. Usually I write things down ahead of time, but I have a question. I have a thing that I want to say. It's like, in a way, I am piggybacking off the last message, but I'm not. I need to do more practicing what I preach. Sometimes I'll just give the message and not practice what I'm preaching out loud. I don't know, fear, paranoia. I feel like one of the things that come with being a highly intuitive person, one of the things that come with being a very highly intuitive person is feelings of paranoia, and reminding yourself that just because you know certain things is happening in the background doesn't mean that they can affect you. And I'm sharing all of this because I feel like maybe somebody can relate to all of it. And I have a question. It's like a rhetorical slash reflective type of question. And I want to say, are you incompetent or are you unsupported? I'm going to say that one more time. Are you incompetent or are you unsupported? It's really interesting how, you have friends, you have family, or even just people who paths you've crossed in life. And they could easily be in a position where they could have helped you. They see you're struggling a little bit, they see you going through stuff, and rather than help you, they'll judge you. And to me, it's one thing to not want to help somebody that needs help, but it's another thing to go out of your way to actually give them an even harder time. And so we'd be surprised how many times folks out here, and I am talking about my own story. I don't want to go into too much detail because I've also, with my consulting and everything, I'm also relaying parts of other people's stories. And I really like to get to lessons rather than details. But yeah, Spirit wants me to get more into the details. And so it tends to not occur to a lot of folks that hateration is playing such a bigger part than one thought. Like, what I mean is, I've been in situations where even family members, right? I love my family to death, and it is what it is, y'all. But my dad knows how to drive, my sister knows how to drive, my brother knows how to drive, and when it came down to actually getting my license, I really had to teach myself how to drive. And in fact, I had a girlfriend at the time whose mother bought her a car for her birthday that year, and she would allow me to drive every now and again, and she would also allow me to car sit whenever she would go out of town. And so that gave me enough practice so that when I finally went to take the test, I passed the test with flying colors because I've already been driving. And And at the same time, then you fast forward to, right, say my father, right? Fast forward to my dad. He's getting older, he's starting to get sick, and it's becoming harder and harder for him to drive. And so he decided, he said, I'm getting older. I think it's time I teach you how to pump gas. Mind you, I'm about 34 years old. He finally decided this is a good time to teach him how to pump gas. And meanwhile, I've had my driver's license since I was 24. Like, I've been pumping gas for 10 years at that point, right? And so it's interesting how quick people will assume that what they didn't teach you, you can't go learn by yourself. And so I guess part of why I'm sharing this is relating and also encouraging folks, for folks out there who might feel incompetent when really you were unsupported. And coming into your adulthood, it's easy to make sure people have the bare essentials. To be honest with you, it's not that hard to make sure people have the bare essentials. But when you really sit and think about it, it's like how many times did people really go out of their way to really make sure you were good? I'm just turning this camera because that person's all behind me. Anyway, I don't want somebody's kid in my video. I'm on a roll, so I'm not stopping. So it's like when you really think about it, it's not that hard to make sure somebody has the bare essentials, right? We have a roof over our head, we have food. And then they go, everything else is up to you. And it's like, okay, I guess everything else is up to me. And so I took that literally, and I go out and I teach myself everything I need to learn to be an adult. And I also accepted from a young age, I knew that I was going to be a late bloomer. I was 24 years old, and I realized that, my family was very checked out. There's a lot of childhood trauma. That's why I don't take nothing personal. I don't blame folks. I know at least some of what people have been through in their own childhoods. And so I don't take things personal. I feel like sometimes people assume that because I've chosen not to take something personal that I don't know that's still messed up. Fucked up is fucked up, right? And I think it's a Maya Angelou quote that said, people often forget what you've done for them, but they never forget how you make them feel. And so I'll never forget the feeling of realizing that I was really on my own. Like there's family and there's people around me, but people are limited in how they can help me, and then they're limited on how much they're actually willing to do for me, right? And so from outside looking in, people would decide, well, Z's all over the place. They never seem to know what they want to do. But if anybody ever actually took the time to have a longer or even more than one conversation with me, they would know that I know exactly what I want to do, and I'm actually doing it. So when I always wanted to work for myself. That was always the end game. And recognizing that I'm teaching myself a lot of things, I recognize that this is going to take a while, and I'm probably going to be a quote-unquote late bloomer. I accepted that a long time ago. And I decided to I don't like the word humble, but I prefer the word get realistic about myself, and drop whatever shame, drop this habit people have of caring too much what other people think, caring too much about keeping up with the Joneses, caring too much about looking grown in front of other folks. I realized at the age of 24 that, today I'm going to start from scratch. Today, if I have to literally go back to re-teach myself how to walk, talk, and crawl, I will do that. If I got to start from crawling back to walking at the age of 24, I will do that. And so a lot of the jobs that I took, I worked in education. Literally, I worked in classroom. I did after school. I did summer camp. I did sales. I did retail sales. I did Wall Street sales. I've done adult education. I've done private tutoring. I've worked in one of those little factory-like settings where you're putting food on a tray and then putting plastic in the tray, and then that food ends up in a store in a microwavable tray. One of those things. I've even done that. I've done maintenance work because I wanted to give myself a real world education by really being in the world. I feel like there's a lot of fantasy. I feel like we do a lot of fantasizing about the life we would like to have from where we are. And so, in other words, I wanted to know what it would be like to be an educator. So I decided to go be an educator. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting, but I don't think. And so it wasn't just me wanting to learn education, but it was also learning skill sets, right? From education, there's a whole lot you learn about having to tame 20 third graders, 25 third graders, 30 second graders. There's a whole lot you learn about yourself and about people when you have to tame and teach and prepare and secure and defend and even sometimes reprimand a large classroom full of young folks. And there's so much to learn from that. There's so much to learn from retail sales. It was my job to arrange the fake jewelry in the jewelry section of this in particular store. They allowed me the free range of this section, so it was up to me. It's like how I want to put the gold next to the silver. I want to put all the silver here. I want to put all the gold here. Then I put the scars down here, and I would learn all these fancy ways to, to hang the scarves, folding things, keeping things neat, inventory, the process of inventory coming off a truck, going into your stock room, and then like properly doing that inventory and properly labeling them and bringing them down to the floor and putting them in the right place. There's a whole lot you learn from that. And then I'm not going to go through all my jobs. I'm just making a point. So from the outside looking in, it just looked like, oh, Z don't know what they want to do. They just seem to be all over the place. Like, am I all over the place? Or am I walking an exact straight line and you're all the way over there watching me? Right? So don't let people who are watching you from the outside looking in make you feel bad for what they don't understand. If I sit outside your house and watch you from the window, there's a whole lot of assumptions that I can make. And then there's plenty of things I will see you do that can feed my imagination. I see you do something one time and I just like, oh my God, that's what they do over there? I see you drink wine out of the bottle one time and I'm like, oh, they must be alcoholics over there. And so don't let what people are seeing from outside the window of your life make you feel like you need to tidy up your house because they want to be nosy. They're supposed to be watching their own lives. Okay? Long story short, they're supposed to be watching your own lives. So I guess I might be even a little bit all over the place in this conversation. I might not be. Guess what? That's okay. It's not a crime, even if you are a little bit all over the place. The world is a little bit all over the place. Look at the presidency right now. Who isn't all over the place? Why should your life look so much more organized than the government's right now? So I feel like sometimes we're internalizing too much opinions of others and governing ourselves too much of the opinions of others and not just living our lives and figuring it out. Figure out your life and yourself and what you want to do and move at whatever pace works for you. So I reiterate that reflective question. It's like, am I incompetent or have I been unsupported? Have I really been left to figure this all out by myself? Regardless of what people made it look like from the outside looking in. Oh yeah, we help Zeta all the time. Like, no, you don't. These people don't help me. These people don't help me do a damn thing. Some people, here's the other reason why I don't take that personal. Some people have internalized what it means to need help. And so to them, it's like some people have this need to do everything themselves because maybe they've internalized this idea that if I need help, there must be something wrong with me. Like as if, like no man is an island. We're supposed to be supporting each other. Of course, not to the point of codependency, But definitely we are supposed to really technically be supporting each other, even if it's just cheering me on. At this point, thoughts and prayers is the only thing I want from folks, because sometimes you'd be surprised how many people will act like they're trying to help you, but really they just want to be up in your business and want to be up in your life, they want to be up in your energy. So I've experienced that too. So that's what I'm also getting at, right? And so it's like, if you're one of those people who feel like, you know what, my family never did this for me, and my mama never did that for me, and my daddy never did that to me, I just want you to know you're still unhealed. You're still unhealed. You haven't yet got to the place of realizing how much of a blessing that truly was, right? One of the reasons I appreciate it, because I'm pretty sure everyone expected me to be sad about that. I'm pretty sure everyone expected me to be depressed about that. That's one of the reasons why I have so many, I get so many weird stares from folks. They don't understand me. I must be crazy. I must be crazy, because in their mind, it's like, I abandoned you. And I know that if I were abandoned, I'd be really depressed right now. And they look at me with a big old smile on my face, like there must be something wrong with that person, because they're not responding to the abandonment the same way I would. And so they are inadvertently admitting to abandoning me by assuming how I should have reacted to that, right? So you're saying it, you're actually admitting it without realizing you're admitting it. The other part is when you truly heal, and when you truly let go, at least majority of that crap, of that resentment, you realize what a blessing that was, because you know what? There's no one I can really say I owe anything to. I don't really owe nobody nothing. The few things people have done for me wasn't life changing. It's you know what I mean. Sometimes it's called breadcrumbing. People will breadcrumb you. People will throw you a little breadcrumb and be like, "Well, I helped you that one time," not knowing that low key. First of all, I didn't even ask you for this breadcrumb. Second of all, I had like 3 slices of bread in my pocket during that time, and you assumed I needed a breadcrumb. Maybe I was even fasting that day, and breadcrumb, and it's not exactly what I needed, right? So, what I'm getting at is kind of like, if you're at a place where you know you really did, like, for the most part, by yourself, you have to figure it out on your own, and you feel like that makes you a late bloomer, and it's like, no, it took you however long it took you, and that's how long it took you. It is what it is. You can see the glass half full, you can see the glass half empty. That's a helicopter. That's a nosy helicopter. I guess my conversation is that interesting. They need to come. I'm joking. It's the city. There's all kinds of traffic everywhere. I hope I made a point, because I feel like I started off making one point, and like I feel like I may have made multiple points. And I'm not big on explaining myself, but being the intuitive person that I am, I can feel the feeling of people are constantly trying to figure me out, and no one ever actually just said, you know what, Zeta, I have a question for you. You know what, Zen, Zena, whatever, whichever name you want to use for me, they're both my name. I have a couple questions for you. I'm just wondering, how didn't that hurt? No one ever said, how did you let that go? How did you heal that? How did you figure that out? How were you so brave? They're just like, are you crazy? You're a late bloomer and you're okay with yourself, right? That's how low self-esteem talks out loud. That's other people's low self-esteem talking out loud. I abandoned you and you're not mad at me, right? I breadcrumbed you and the resentment didn't eat you up so bad that you wanted to act out in vengeance so I can make you look bad. What, there's such thing as an intuition and actually following it? Maybe my intuition told me exactly what to expect. It didn't. My intuition didn't tell me exactly what to expect, but, you know, some things are way more obvious than people think they are as well. A lot of people, you know, maybe what's not obvious to them was obvious to you. It has nothing to do with being so highly intuitive or a genius at all. One thing about insecurity is that it makes clarity difficult. And so by focusing on healing, I'm able to gain a lot of clarity. By focusing on healing, I'm able to gain a lot of clarity. And through that clarity, I'm able to let shit go. And so, in a way, I am piggybacking off of that last video by practicing what I preach rather than preaching a thing about expressing the frustration, expressing anger. I'm able to let things go so fast that I really, it's like by the time I get to the video, like I'm not mad anymore. Because I was feeling a kind of way like yesterday, the day before. And then maybe that was also fueled a little bit by it raining outside, and now I can't come out and say the thing because I'm like I'm ready, like I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great about this new year. I'm feeling great about this blood moon that we just had. I'm feeling great about the nice weather that we're having today. I think it's supposed to snow tomorrow, some crazy crap. And so I decided to be out here enjoying it while it's still nice. And yeah, man, I just want to say, keep doing you. Keep doing you. Keep moving forward, no matter how long it's been. Because this is a lot of what I'm saying is also, it's like I said, it's my story, but it's also based on a few of the conversations that I've had. Whereas it's like I feel like we're all been stuck in this energy of like waiting for a miracle. waiting for a miracle, waiting for magic shit to come save us out of these situations, and finally realizing, motorcycles are confirmation for me for like moving forward, picking up the pace, and so I plan on doing a lot more sharing and all that good stuff, whatever. You get what I'm saying? Follow the intuition. When you're feeling stuck, if you're like me in a situation that again, I feel like life is guiding me out of this situation finally, and which is also why I'm feeling better. It's like, allow your situation inside of you to shift rather than waiting for life outside of you to shift. It's like, you don't have to wait for the money to feel better. You don't have to wait for the help, if there's even going to be help, to feel better. Joy, the inner peace and joy is not reliant on outside factors. So even if I were literally in prison right now, I would do my best to make that as a pleasant situation as possible. Because that's just the kind of person I am. And I know that's annoying for some people, but it is what it is. Would you rather, you know what I mean? There's enough Debbie Downers out here to last a lifetime. I'm not going to feel bad about not being one of them. This is not a place to go for, misery, looking for company. Like, This is, be sad for a day. Matter of fact, be sad for a whole month if you need to be. But process some shit and move forward. Now what? Now what do I do? Now what can I do? It's wild. So I guess just to bring myself back to the original topic, are you incompetent or have you been unsupported? I'm also going to quote myself here, and I'm going to say, are you a late bloomer, or is your purpose so important that God needed years and years of preparation from you? I'll say that one more time. Are you a late bloomer? Or does God have such an important purpose for you that it took years and years of preparation? Right? Time is an illusion. The fact that the idea that I'm only here one lifetime, is also an illusion. I'm here to live multiple lifetimes. And so if I got to sacrifice one lifetime to shift my energy to the point where all my other lifetimes are way better, all my lifetimes after this are way better, then so be it. And that, I'm going a little new agey there for you. But yeah, there's that. There's that. All right, y'all. I think I'm cool for now. We'll talk again soon. Later.